Hello, everybody, and welcome to Combat Mission. It's Combat Mission Tuesday, and yeah, I'm trying something different here. This is, as you see, an AAR type of thing, although it's a bit different. Yeah, I'm trying to record first and then try commentary later. I think that is going to be necessary for what I'm about to do, which is called Operation. In the tail end of last episode where I finished up the La Fear scenario, I mentioned I want to try an operation. And this is the operation scenario list. There are long form scenario consisting of 9 battles or 7 battles. And each battle consists of 25 turns, so this is a huge undertaking. If you compare with some of the 50 turn scenarios that I've been doing that span like 3 episodes and around like 3 hours and 30 minutes in terms of total running length. Yeah, this is going to just take up whole block of my let's play efforts. But I want to try at least one operation to see how I be able to fare. And in keeping with the timeline of the scenarios I've been playing, I want to try something that deals with the earlier part of the Overlord operation. I know it just almost end of November, and I probably need to move into Battle of Bulge, skipping the the mission Holland. Bridge Too Far is based out of that operation. I'm not so sure. I'm drawing a blank on the name of that battle, but operation, or I'm not so sure exactly. Anyways, yeah. In keeping with the timeline, I want to play either operation based out of Karen 10 or Khan battles. And I'm choosing Canadian Armageddon, which is a battle based out of Khan. More specifically, Operation Goodwood, involving the Canadians. It's like an ominous title. I wonder what kind of Armageddon will await the Canadians here. Yeah, it certainly doesn't. It kind of bodes bad things to happen for the Canadians that will go up against the staunch defense of the Germans based out of Khan. One of the hardest and most difficult battles the Canadians faced before this was the amphibious assault that they launched at Dieppe. That was before the D-Day, and I think it was a sort of a trial run in seeing how they fare in certain scenarios, and they wanted to do some kind of amphibious assault on Dieppe with very bad results. So yeah, this time they're tasked with this very important objective of taking Khan from southwest, or approaching Khan from southwest, clearing up the little villages and towns on the way. And this is an assault operation in which 70% progress is expected. So I guess that is the amount of map that you have to occupy by the end of the first battle. It happens on July 20th to 21st, 1944, southwest of Khan, at Verrieres Ridge. Now, my mouse pointer seems to be pointing all over the place, and I will have a hard time to try to follow it while commenting at the same time, so I hope that you understand. I try to disable my mouse pointer to, direct the attention to one particular place that I'm talking about or commenting on currently. But this is a short introduction. You're facing up against the German SS and air troops. And also, during the course of the operation, you're going to do some night battles, which is a whole new ball game in terms of visibility and what you can expect from the defenses. Certainly going to be a lot harder, but it's going to provide us also with opportunity to perhaps outflank enemies. And designer note, yeah. So this is a single. If you want to play this as a single player, it is advisable to play as Canadians. I haven't played any Canadian missions before, so I'm pretty excited, to see how are they able to fare and be able to repeat this historical accurate result of this particular operation. I think historically this Goodwood operation was not a success. I think it was either stalemate or the Germans were able to defeat the Canadians trying to approach Khan, unfortunately, for the Allies. Yeah, so this is the Canadian briefing. I shortened this for the sake of brevity, If you want to read it, you can pause the video and read it. But it is basically the Canadian brigades approaching Caen from southwest and have to take 2 towns of Saint Andre and Saint Martin. Saint Martin or something in French. Excuse my French. Yeah, so you control these brigades, including Camerons of Canada, South Saskatchewan's. Saskatchewan, if you are curious, is a province in Canada. But the armor support is going to be either lagging or not provided, unfortunately. Yeah, because they want to reserve it for some kind of counterattack, or rather cover our retreat. If we were to be defeated by the Germans, I think they were rather wary of entering the town with the armor, and I understand. Yeah, so you approach these 2 towns and try to climb up the Verrieres Ridge, but you have to also be mindful of the fact that you are going to be climbing up for the higher territory with a lot of prospective German gun emplacements overlooking the area. So you're going to change your tactics accordingly, as they say in the last paragraph, or the second last paragraph. And also, given the weather, I mean, Normandy is known to be rather drizzly this time of the year, but given the weather, also the Royal Air Force might be able to provide you with some bomber support. So bombing runs might be possible, so don't get too close. Yeah, I don't know. I think the weather patterns here are random in this scenario or in this game. And here are your Canadian troops. Yeah, 3 groups here: left flank, right flank, and the central group. Central group has the big guns, artilleries, and whatnot. And you can see the deployment zone is in 3 colors, a tricolor, in fact. Nice touch. And the map is huge, as you can see. Yeah, that is the field that you have to cross into and change your tactics, because the guns will be pointing at us along the road, in fact. Yeah, so you can see the French flag. Very interesting. Nice choice of colors. Yeah, so I need to deploy these guys and try to engage them so that they'll be able to enter the town rather quickly, and I did it here. As you can see, they're all, well, I mean, congregate on the road. There'll be a lot of log jam. And I plan to move them left flank along the road, right flank on right side, taking the road as well. But the central group is going to just march straight. They're going to just march straight into the first cover that they can find along the edge of the town. And yeah, as you can see, they're all ready to go. And these guys will march straight. There's some swamp there, but I think we're just going to cross it or go past it. And the town that is closest to us is Saint Andre, and then the second town a bit further back is Saint Martin. And this is, I think, after we have crossed the Orne River, which was featured in one of the previous episodes. So I need to move them right now after the initial deployment, and I try to move them, yeah, in a manner that I described, and each company has mortar and piat attached to it. So I'm trying to, yeah, move them a bit behind the rifleman. Kind of worried about the ambush that might be stationed in the town. Yeah, so this is the movement order that I gave. Left flank taking the road, right flank doing the same. Central group is moving up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The action phase of that previous planning. So yeah, they're really eager from the shout. Yeah, they're ripping them up. They have a high morale, still 100%. Speaking of the morale here, or speaking of Canada, you will see that the representative flags, both the flags are not really, I mean the German flag is basically the flag of the here, I think. It's not your standard Nazi flag, for obvious reasons. But you notice also the Canadian flag is not the current Canadian flag that you're most you must be familiar with. It's actually a red ensign. That's an official flag of Canada until 1964 or 65. They used this flag during the war. It's similar to, some Commonwealth states with the Union Jack on the left-hand corner. Anywho, yeah, this is second turn, which I gave movement to move into nearest cover. Still rather wary of the ambushes, so if you're ambushed, you might as well ambush them while we are trying to head to cover, so they run to cover after being shot at. Yeah, so general movement still into St. Andre.
Okay, Sergeant.
And because of swamp right above our central group, we're going to split the troops a bit. And the left hand guys are moving up, shouting all the same. And right flank also does the same. Yep, they're just shouting at the top of their lungs, it seems. Telling the Germans that they're approaching, maybe it's just sort of a scare tactic or something. Psychological warfare. I don't think so. Interestingly enough, there's no Vickers machine gun unit. There's only some Piat and artillery. 2 artillery spotters, in fact, so it's pretty cool. But no Vickers. So we need to face up against the heavy German machine gun by using our riflemen creatively. So we finished the second turn here, I think second turn. And yeah, I'm just trying to move up for the next turn into the town proper and see if we can set up some defensive line in the town and move this line up in a staggered fashion, covering each other from the left and right flank, while the central guys move up to take the town and also move up to the edge of the other side of the town. So ending up on the edge of the wood there, you can see. Yeah, so the third action phase. Yeah, it's about time that we discover a German or two in this town, and if we are to be ambushed here, we already probably face some heavy fire, but we are not. So I do think by this time there will be no ambushes coming. And yeah, just try to move as quick as possible. Set the defensive line and to see whether this open expanse is going to be the zone where the Germans will train their guns on us after we taken St. Andre. And also that house is where the suspect. Yeah, near the bend of the road, which is pretty dangerous place for any troops to cross into. And there's a left flank also to provide us with another avenue of attack into the other town, Saint Martin. Right, so we have ended another turn. Yeah, pretty safely, in fact. So we are trying to move into St. Andre and also on the right flank cross into the other side of the town and facing up, facing just along the road to the next town we should capture. Yeah, we need to capture like 70% of the map or something. It just how this is calculated is rather different. As you can see, there's no flag to capture here, no objective to hold. Just have to move, I think, your troops as much as possible while facing heavy fire. And I think you heard like some shots ringing out, like a warning shot or something. And we see, and that definitely means that the Germans are nearby, overlooking our progress. They must be all hiding. In the left flank here, moving up around the road, and also I gave the leftmost units here to move into different direction to outflank the Germans if possible. In the right flank, just moving up using the cover, not exactly on the road. The middle group is taking over a house, try to see across that field, joining the pond, and there you go. Yeah, first German sighted. just across the pond here. It's a pretty good natural barrier there that they set up. And so we try to briskly form a defensive line along the cover and scatter trees. In the left flank, I try to give an order for the leftmost unit to move into extreme left almost in order to outflank the guys. And the right side, just try to get the cover and then move up as much as possible. Now, scatter tree is not that great of a defensive cover, as you will soon see, especially against heavy guns. Yeah, and there's already a first casualty, a lucky shot. I suspect that there is some kind of sniper or something. Yeah. But undaunted, the Canadians are still moving up. The heavy weapons are following up here with mortars and artillery spotters. The space, yeah, there's another German guy, there's another German unit just past the pond here. And I think it's a higher ground too, so they have a good vantage point to see all the units that are coming their way, especially along that road.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're now being faced with multiple Canadians now moving from the center of the town as well. The center group is also targeting these guys. And they're in foxholes, as you can see. They're well entrenched. Assault missions are pretty hard, I find. Definitely harder than the defensive missions. Yeah, next turn you see more Germans appearing and sighted. And the red lines mean that there'll be a lot of shots and battles that's going to envelop this whole thing across this little field that separates the town or villages. And as you can see, the leftmost unit is now heading in a far different direction to try to outflank the Germans. Whether that's going to be successful, you will soon see. Yeah, and the left flank unit, left group, actually to your left side is the north, and we are basically heading east from west. Some machine guns. Although we don't have any Vickers, we do have some rifleman units that has Bren guns and small machine guns. Yeah, still shooting. This guy, a mortar guy, trying to see whether I can find a target and whether they're shooting. I don't think they're shooting, so I need to move them up a bit closer. Trying to see whether actually the sight lines are going to be established, but yeah, I need to move up these guys a bit further up. A lot of mortar units, a lot of them. Yeah, and then now there's some heavy battles going on here. The left flank guys are trying to settle up that wall, the stone wall. And these guys are now finding additional Germans overlooking the main avenue, one of the main avenues into the town. See if there's a sight line. Nope, so I need to move up. And I do that, as you can see on the right side. Yeah, so the left flank units are trying to use the wall to kind of shield themselves from the Germans overlooking that road. They're mostly engaged with the central group here. And mostly small arms fire so far. Yeah, so we are kind of establishing defensive lines, and also the left flank a bit trying to move up still, be more aggressive, maybe trying to flank the Germans. Yeah. Still some heavy fighting. Nobody's letting up. Nobody's watching. Hold your fire. Well, that's not what they should be doing. They should actually be very proactive in trying to engage the Germans, and the Germans on the right is trying to displace, maybe trying to outflank us as well. Yeah, and mortars are now finally falling on the defenders near the pond, and they move up. They move away from the heavy fire here. And they're bringing up the gun here. Yeah, the anti-tank guns now probably using high explosive, training their sights on our right group, the right flank. And the left, yeah, they have all situate themselves on the wall, and they're moving into the wood. The left flank groups are now moving into closer, using the scattered trees as cover, and the leftmost unit is actually trying to really advance on the left side, trying to flank the Germans. And wow, the central groups are now heavily engaged. They're fully engaged with the group now featuring the German gun, heavy weaponry that's going to give us a lot of heartache, give the Canadians a lot of trouble. Yeah. The right side, I try to splinter off a group here, trying to do the same thing that I'm doing with the left flank, namely trying to flank the guys and give them a better angle to shoot. Yeah, the German guns are firing at the group in the scattered trees, and now these guys are the right flank, trying to move across the street and move into that brush near the field. Guns are being targeted all the same, but they are very resistant, either from the terrain, natural terrain, the height of the terrain, or the fact that they're concealed in the scattered trees. And now these guys moving into brush, which even worse cover defensive value than the scattered trees. Now the German guns are smart enough to target these guys, and they're damaged. They're hit. Yeah, that's the British or Canadian scream of pain. And I realized my mistake right away. Yeah, I realized my mistake here, seeing all the infantry casualties, and the Germans are also moving to counter that. Yeah, so right and central groups now fully engaged with Germans, firing with all they have. Left flank is trying to be sneaky, use a cover to advance. That's probably our best hope for getting upper hand in this particular situation. Yeah, and as you can see from the orange lines, the artillery has found its target. So I'm just trying to see if the artillery is going to punch a hole in this very staunch German defenses. Now featuring multiple guns, and now these guys on the right are, being embattled. They're not routed yet, but they're basically in cover, panic, don't know what to do. Still shooting a bit, but not really effectively. Yeah, the guns are basically being targeted from everywhere. Even the AI know that they're the top priority target. It still carries our group in the far right. Now we see the Germans have taken up some of the buildings in order to prevent it from collapsing. And as you can see from the smoke, I tried to smoke and conceal the troops there, but it was the wrong direction. We could probably put it a bit on the left side in order to conceal them from the German gun, but yeah, it was just too late. Too little, too late. And there's a huge fire from the artillery and the crossroads right there. And the Germans are scattering away from that place. Yeah, so we are now trying to move our central group a bit into the cover as well, while the right side is engaged fully. We believe that since we are not targeted by the enemy, the central group that is moving, we can use it to move on to the nearest cover, although we have to cross into open expanse. I'm talking about the guys that is heading out from the middle, and they will, as you will see. Yeah, still heavy metal, not be able to knock out the tank, knock out the gun. I wonder how much of damage it caused on that flaming portion of the pillar of defense that was there. Yeah, very loud. Light gun still targeting us with a plum. Yeah, it's really dangerous, really lethal. And this might be able to face once again if we were to take Saint Martin and move up on that ridge. Yeah, being targeted everywhere, especially on the right side. The left side, we move into the target, and also the leftmost flank, leftmost units have encounter German defenses heavily entrenched in the woods, also in foxholes. Thankfully, we have another unit that is climbing up the wood here. As you can see, the leftmost side, there's a group that is heading to the edge of the wood to support our guys now fully engaged in battle on the left side. The mortars are also following the left group, trying to provide some area effect attacks. And the middle group has made their way to the wood, and now they're trying to move into near the pond to get a better look at the Germans and also provide a different try to surround them with fire. Albeit smaller arms fire then may not be as effective. Yeah, and then Germans are now opening up from the center of the town as well. As you can see, the center of the town featuring some additional German units not identified yet, but you can see some bunkers now, the concrete bunkers. And they also have huge guns targeting us moving to the pond area. But we are relatively unscathed. A lot of shots being fired still. I don't know what the level of our ammo is like. Probably half of the ammo has been spent on most of the frontline troops. These guys just trying to keep watch, but we need to move. Especially this guy, he's all by his lonesome. But the rest of his group has went near the pond. And the artillery is still falling on the suspected German placement, and their artillery is falling on our side as well, on the right flank. So these guys are now really in trouble. So there's no progress made on the right side as they try to withstand the artillery strike. Left and center groups have the most activity as we round out this episode with the turn 12th turn. So play the half of this particular battle and still going rather ferociously. And the battle kind of flies over to the left hand side, our left flank. Wonder if I can move my right flank as well, since the shots have died down the side after the artillery strike. Now my artilleries are not targeting the center of the town, as you can see, where most of the heavy defenses are laid out, it seems, with the bunkers and light guns. The German artillery is still falling on our positions on the right side. They're worrying whether they'll be able to hold out. Still not routed, but yeah, they're close to the limit, given that they are only regular experienced troops. German guns are opening up on our central groups as we move into the cover, nearby houses. And we move up to provide more concentrated fire on the left flank. Yeah, the Germans here, one of them have suffered some damage. Yeah, and these are the wood bunkers here, some guns, and also the concrete bunker right in the smack dab in the middle. In the middle of the crossroad here. Yeah, so very heavily fortified area we need to engage, and I probably need to use a piach that I have been saving up and also the artillery in order to bash them a bit while the troops encircle them and attack them from multiple angles. Now I have provided some still the battle's going on, but I think I can push these guys out because we basically have flanked some of these guys. So hopefully next few turns we'll be able to punch through that area, take the road into the town, and bring in the piach through that in order to engage the bunkers and destroy them. Here they probably just defend their positions and try to draw the fire, while the guys from the rear, mostly piach, will move up. Yeah, it's gonna take some time. I don't know whether I can make it to occupy 70% of the map before everything's said and done. And here this guy is exposed basically, but it's not being faced with anything. So next up, I think I'll be able to use that expensive field in order to move up bulk of my troops. Okay, so that was the first battle, half of the first battle that consists Operation Canadian Armageddon. Doesn't seem like the Canadians are in for any kind of easy fight. They're going to be faced with a lot of tough German resistance all along the way. So thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, please stay tuned.